I call Te Urora Flavell.
Greetings to all of us in the House. Mr. Speaker, National have provided a statement regarding the year ahead, but there was one topic that was not really discussed. The matter has some relevance to the agreement between the Māori Party and National. Let me explain. On Waitangi Day, the Prime Minister offered the following question.
Why can't this be the generation of New Zealanders who opened the next chapter of our history? Koina tā te Premier.
It is a question of the utmost relevance to one of the most significant political debates to have impacted upon Aotearoa.
Mr. Speaker,
it has been just under 11 months ago since the Attorney General announced the terms of reference and members of the government's ministerial panel to review the foreshore. There were two key components of the review: to ascertain whether the Act adequately maintains and enhances mana whenua, and to ensure both customary and public interest in coastal marine area are recognised and provided for. It is a balance which the Māori Party has consistently advocated for, the need to respect the mana that every iwi and hapu express over their rohe moana, while at the same time promoting the concept of enduring public access. That then is perhaps at the heart of the question that the Prime Minister, this generation, must be the ones to open the next chapter of history by providing certainty and clarity around interest in the foreshore and seabed. But this is where we differ in some respects from the approach taken by Mr. Keys. Mr. Keys' Waitangi Day proclamation was that we should move on and acknowledge that the history of colonisation and injustice can't be allowed to dominate decision-making. I can hear some of our people saying, easier said than done. There will be little dispute that the 2004 Act has been the most pivotal piece of policy to have been served upon Māori for at least the last century. We must face the future, being absolutely informed by our past, a recent past admittedly, but one that still continues to engender hostility and anguish from amongst the people of this land, tangata whenua. We will never forget the memory of 250,000 people marching on Parliament to universally reject the Act. Our international reputation has been damaged by consistent findings from the United Nations that the Act discriminated against Māori because it extinguished property rights without consent or compensation. And our capacity as a parliament to talk about matters of justice is severely compromised by the complete disregard for the concept of due access to the courts as spelled out in the Ngāti decision. The period of time in 2003 during the Attorney General versus Ngāti it was a very significant period in building up of our nation. Indeed, I would hope that this decision would be compulsory reading for all members of Parliament, all students of history and politics, and to all those with intentions to enter the halls of law. This is what Professor Jane Kelsey said about the Ngāti decision. She described the Ngāti decision as creative,
and the Court of Appeal were prepared to take the risk and challenge the prevailing precedents.
And so I come back to Mr. Keys' question, challenging this generation to open the next chapter of history. The critical responsibility for our generation is that we are able to provide the insights, the knowledge, the direction and the support that will help all future generations to grow and develop. We cannot advance if we ignore and deny the conflicts that rendered us asunder. Opinion polls, focus groups and commentators all have their place. But ultimately, the true test of leadership and the courage to work with policy differences. In this respect, I was heartened by the words of Tani Rāniere Tau in his analysis of the iwi's Leader Forum. That forum consists of representation of all 57 iwi and is a powerful advocate for the recognition and mana of iwi and hapu over their Reo Moana. Mrs. Tau spoke in support of the forum as the best group to represent Māori in negotiations, given that every member is an elected member of their own iwi. Why is this so important? Well, quite simply, the foreshore and seabed approach that we consider and conclude in upcoming months can only be effective if there is meaningful engagement between the Crown and iwi hapu. It is expected that those representatives communicate well with iwi and hapu to be accountable, to be transparent, to be faithful to the views of the people. The key commitment that we give to our constituency is that we would do everything in our powers to repeal the Act, and that has been a priority for us. But we also face the future with optimism, wanting to ensure that the Māori Party, as the strong and independent voice of Māori, can ensure that all aspects of the management of the marine environment and marine resources enable effective input of iwi and hapu. We have advocated for iwi and hapu involvement and decisions which bear the influence of tikanga, and we have spoken out consistently for the recognition of the mana of iwi and hapu. Time will demonstrate the fruits of our efforts. Now let me turn to another important matter which arose yesterday, and here I'm profiting from that. There is one thing that would inspire hope for the success of our people, for the success our people seek, is the significance of yesterday, a day in which finally simultaneous interpretation has been welcomed into this chamber. This has been a long day coming. In 1987, the Māori Language Act declared Te Reo Māori an official language of New Zealand. This was a key event in the history of this nation, and is somewhat sobering to think that Parliament, some 23 years later, is finally honouring the intention of that act. Here is the whakapapa genealogy behind this distinction initiative. 24th of February 2000, was translated and stored in the Māori Affairs Select Committee rooms so that English translations of members of Parliament or visitors speaking in Te Reo can be made. At the time then, Deputy Clerk of the House, Elsa Salt, said that if the service was a success, it could be introduced into the House. We have also We've had a full-time interpreter in the House since 1999, after Māori members of Parliament expressed concerns during the 96-99 Parliament about the barriers to speaking Māori in the House. So I want to recognise the efforts made right across the House in successive terms of Parliament for the right to be able to speak Māori to be given the status of an official language with the capacity for other members to benefit from and get an immediate understanding of the content and statements made. Our saying that we have traditional saying, it's inspiration of education from our people. They embellish our kōrero, they demonstrate the unique knowledge and wisdom of Māori frameworks, They
Takahia ai,
provide
tō
contemporary
tupuna,
guidance
tō
based
rātou
on
mātua.
historical precedents. Greetings. Thank you.